What you want truly matters. And I know what you're going to say is, yeah, I know, but do you? Do you put yourself first and step into discomfort today in order to achieve greater fulfillment in your life in the future? I almost feel like Robin Williams in the movie Good Will Hunting, where he's talking to Matt Damon and he's saying, it's not your fault. So I want to actually play that scene for you today because I feel it really resonates with today's message. So let me share my screen. Okay. And if you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. It is in my top 5. And especially if you're a fan of Robin Williams, you are going to love it. I personally believe it is his best movie. So, okay, let me get the screen bigger and we are going to play this scene.
You see this? Holy shit. It's not your fault. Look at me, son. It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. I know. No, you don't. It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. Right? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me. It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't fuck with me, Sean. Not you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Oh, my heart. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful and just gut-wrenching scene, right? So I think that the folder that Robin Williams is holding in this clip where he says it's not your fault, to me, it represents all of the things that we desire for our lives, but we don't yet have. So whether it's in our relationships, whether it's in our health and fitness, whether it's how much money we don't have yet, or our career, or maybe the most importantly is around our quality of life. And so I'm going to say this again, just like Robin would in the movie. What you want in your life really truly does matter. And it is not your fault that you're not where it is that you want to be in your life. So let me give you an example. I love my husband, my kids, my parents, but I realized something over this past year that was just fascinating. What I realized was that I was pushing them away with my actions and with my words, and I was not showing up as my best self with them. And why in the world would I do that? You know, when I thought about it, when I questioned it, so I forced myself to actually find the answer to this question. And you guys, I did not like what I found. I was sabotaging these relationships because I was scared. And I'll tell you right now, I was the most uncomfortable maybe I've been in my entire life when I finally began to accept this reality. It was a pretty tough pill to swallow, to realize that I was the one responsible for the relationships I had in my life. But this realization also it began to set me free. It began to liberate me, because not only was I now understanding that I was the one that created the situation I was in, I also now recognized that I was in control to be able to make new choices in my life. And that felt really empowering. So in order for me to really be able to have the relationships that I want to have in my life, I needed to switch the emotion that I was feeling to love, to unconditional love. But before I could do that, I had to learn a really important lesson. I had to learn how to love myself unconditionally. And I had a lot of work to do. I'm going to tell you right now, but it's something that I'm still working on, because I think that this is the kind of work that's actually lifelong work, especially when we start becoming clear on who it is that's responsible for our own happiness. Now I have a sense of unconditional love that comes over me from time to time. And I got to tell you, it is the most magical feeling I can even describe. And is something that I've felt, lots of different emotions in my lifetime, but this emotion is just next level. And one thing that I have come to really realize over my journey is so many of us out there rarely feel this emotion, if ever. But here's the thing. Our growth is all about self-love. I think when we grow, we're showering ourselves with love. And here's where it just gets so interesting, is in order to grow, we need to become willing to feel some really uncomfortable emotions. And I think that's where I and so many of us have just gotten it wrong. Like, we want growth to be fun, right? Like, I want to feel good as I'm growing. I don't want to feel so uncomfortable. But unfortunately, you guys, it just doesn't work that way. In order to be able to grow, we need to become willing to put ourselves into discomfort. And that's why I spent the first few sessions of this program really helping you to learn how to feel your emotions more, to recognize that our emotions are just energy vibrations in our body, and that you're going to be okay when you learn to allow these physical sensations to pass through you, and they will, in order to be able to get to the other side. Okay, it's time to shift gears and talk about what growth looks like in your life. So if you could be anything, if you could do anything, if you could have any type of incredible relationship that you would desire to have, what would that look like for you? That is going to be today's homework. Today we get to dream and we get to think outside of ourselves around what's possible and have a little bit of fun. We're going to do an inventory of our lives and really check in with ourselves to see how we really feel in each of the areas of our lives. But I want to put a warning out there. For some of you, this work is going to be really eye-opening. And I really, really want to encourage you not to get discouraged when it comes to the things that you don't yet have in your life, right? So remember, it is not your fault that you may have a ways to go in order to achieve whatever it is you may want to achieve in your life. I think it's just a matter of adjusting the stories that we tell, the stories that we're telling ourselves. So the sooner that we are able to make that adjustment around the stories that we're telling ourselves, the sooner that we're going to be able to push through in order to be able to get to where we really want to go in our lives. So, okay, that is it for today, everyone. I am so proud of how far you've come. And I really want to encourage you to continue being brave and showing up for yourself in this process. I know that there's a little bit of heavy lifting here, but it can feel like going to boot camp, right? But I promise you, you are going in the right direction. So the offer remains open. If I can help in any way and you'd like to schedule a one-on-one to meet with me privately, send me a message. I really believe in you. I believe in this process and in this program, and I want to make sure that you don't give up when it starts to become a little uncomfortable. Because remember, it's not your fault. Okay, bye now.